Peter will tell us something about the sustainability initiatives at Yealands Winery. They produce wine by sustainable methods from low-impact practices in the vineyard through production in their carbon zero certified winery. Peter.
Thank you. It's a bit like speed dating, really, isn't it? You get a few minutes to make an impression and you're off again. Anyway, I'll start off and I'll tell you a little bit about the winery. It's a 1,000-hectare winery in Seddon, which is just south of Blenheim in Marlborough. And 2 years ago, we built a 12,000-tonne winery there. To give you some idea, in the 1,000 hectares, it's about 1.3 million vines growing. The estate is solely owned by Peter Yealands, who's a Marlborough lad, and it's probably the largest family-owned vineyard in the southern hemisphere, possibly the world. So, being a new company, it's got its advantages and also its disadvantages. One of the advantages we have, we're new. Everybody who comes on board with the sustainability culture. It's not something new that we've invented or tried to introduce. It's been there since day one, and it's quite easy to get that culture evolving and developing as we go. One of the disadvantages is that we had very little knowledge on sustainability and no experience at all, but we did have a vision, passion, and a will to do things, which has probably got us to where we are today. Okay, there's a couple of pictures there. The one on the left was the very first day that we poured concrete for the foundations, and the other picture is the winery 12 months later. So one of them was in 2007, May 2007, the other one May 2008. If you look at that winery there, and I'll elaborate a bit that further on, you'll see no tanks, no wine tanks or anything. All you see is... Okay, this is some of the things we've done, and won't go into too much detail because I haven't got the time. I have got an engineering background. I'd love to talk for hours on some of this stuff, but I'll do my best not to. I'm sure I won't be allowed to. Solar panels. We use as many different technologies as we can. When we designed the building, we thought we'll design it with as many of the latest technologies as we possibly can to make it as efficient as possible. So we've got solar panels heating all our amenities, water for the showers and things like that in the office block. We have an insulated indoor tank hall that gives us huge advantage on other wineries. We're not fighting warm winds or rain on top of the wine tanks to keep the wine cool. Everything's inside in a controlled atmosphere. At Yealands Estate, we use about half as much electrical energy than a conventional winery in New Zealand. We use about 2.5 kilowatts per litre of wine, and it's about 4.5 kilowatts is the average. So, and a big part of that is because we're not fighting the elements. Heat recovery. The biggest user of electricity in a winery is the refrigeration plant. The byproduct of refrigeration is heat, and that heat is discharged into the atmosphere. Before we discharge that, we trap it, and we use it to heat the hot water and the warm glycol that goes around the winery. You can see a picture there of a condenser. Most of you are not don't have an engineering or a mechanical background. You'll see in factories, condensers discharging what looks like steam or water vapor into the atmosphere. That's basically discharging heat. So what we're doing is we're capturing as much of that heat before we discharge it. We also recover heat from the oil cooler. Just like any engine, the oil gets hot, and we take that heat and warm our glycol with it. All around the winery, all our pipelines are insulated. We use VSDs wherever we can on all our large electric motors, and we've got the latest in the evaporative condenser design. Nighttime cooling, I think it was Steve and Drew talked about the national grid and peak demand and things like that. So we've got a program that our wine gets cooled as much as possible during the early hours of the morning. One, electricity is cheaper, but it gives us a less of demand on the peak load. We've got temperature probes inside the winery and a temperature probe outside the winery. if it's colder outside, those fans come on and draw that cold air into the winery. There again, saving on electrical energy for refrigeration. We've got 2 wind turbines. We've got motion sensors in the small rooms. So if you walk into the toilet at Yealands Estate, the lights will be completely dark. As you move in there, the lights will come on. And you've got 15 minutes. If you're in there longer than 15 minutes, the lights will go out. If you wave your arms around, they'll come back on again, so you'll be okay. We use low VOC compounds for painting when we painted and built the winery. Natural insulation. And this is one thing I've been involved in construction my whole life, but this is the first project where we actually recycled all of our construction waste. Well, 75% of our construction waste was recycled. Every other project I've worked on, we put a great big skip there, all the rubbish went into the skip and went to the dump. And as we did the inductions, I was telling all the sort of construction workers that on this site we're going to recycle as much as possible. And I thought we'd get a bit of pushback from some of these pretty sort of hardened guys who've been around sort of the construction industry their whole lives. And one of the old gentlemen at the front says, "Oh, it's about bloody time somebody did that." So it's not hard to get going once you start talking to people and they all come on board. We always have a list of future sustainability projects. We've got a bucket list, if you like, of things that we want to do. Now, a couple of these projects here have come to fruition. The little cute sheep up there. Our vineyard takes 3,000 kilometres to do a mowing round. So it's further than from Cape Reinga to Bluff to do one mowing round around our vineyards. And that takes about $30,000 worth of diesel. But if you put sheep into a vineyard, all they'll do is eat the flowers and the grapes. So Peter Yealands, being an innovative sort of a chap, he got on the internet and Googled short-legged sheep and is introducing these baby doll sheep. And they're about 18 inches tall. They've got very thick necks. They hate lifting their head up to eat the vines. They like to browse on the ground. And we do 10 mowing rounds a year. If these little guys can reduce that by 1 or 2, that's 1 or 2 mowing rounds, $60,000, and it saves all that tractor and all that driving. So we're doing a trial at the moment. It's working quite well. So there again, it doesn't have to be high tech, just innovative. Another really exciting project is, I can see people like the short-legged sheep, yeah. If you look at that picture on the bottom right, is pictures of balings. Every year you prune your vines, and those vines get mulched into the ground. Basically, we're surrounded by energy. So we've baled up those prunings in the conventional hay baler, and that picture on the bottom left is the boiler we've imported from the States. And we're going to burn that vine prunings, and that's going to give us all our total hot water and warm glycol for the whole winery. That's going to save us 20 tonnes of LPG and about $60,000. So it's a really exciting project, and I think it's going to one that can change the industry. So sort of how did we get to where we are? Well, it's really all about leadership, committed leadership. Peter's a very inspirational chap. That's those who haven't seen him before, that's him. Big mane of white hair and a big bushy beard. And he, from day one, he said, yes, we're going to be the most sustainable winery in New Zealand. And then a few minutes later, he said the world. But it's all about leadership. It's always all about communicating that message. You've got to have a platform to work on. There again, I'm speeding up here. For us, Sustainable Business Network, Rachel talked earlier to us today, and we came on board early in the piece, and they do some great work for us. We've also joined Landcare Research's Carbon Zero program. There again has given us a fantastic base. And all I can say is sort of look at every aspect of your business, engage all of your staff right from the top down, because everybody has an idea, everybody can be innovative and creative. Yeah, at us, it's about innovation, creativity, it's about people, and most of all, we have a lot of fun with it. It's been a fantastic journey for us. We know we've got a long way to go, and as I say, it's all about people and having fun. Thanks.